we are back with the action across 5RM and the sideline view. We're crossing over to Lockie Winnell, Trevor Nobby Norton, who are lakeside. G'day, fellas.
Thank you, Rob. Doing a fine job on the sideline view as always. And tell you what, I've been fending off inquiries all day. They're like, Trev sounds a bit different today. Well, he's freshened up. He's he's had a service and he's good to go.
I might have spread some of those rumours, Lockie.
Oh, great, mate. When you get a chance like that, you take it, Rob, and you've done a fine job. You are correct. We are at the Lakeside, round 11 Riverland Football League action. It's top of the table clash. The Barmera Monash Roos, they are hosting the Renmark Rovers. We were at the Lakeside last week. It was a lake. I mean, we are next to a lake, Nobby, but the oval itself was a lake last week. I tell you what, it's dried up pretty good. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, g'day, Lockie. G'day, everyone listening. It's... There's the old saying, a week's a long time in football, and it's a long time at the Lakeside because it looks so much different today.
Certainly does. Both sides out on the field as we speak, doing their warm-ups. There has been a couple of late changes of note, and first and foremost, the Renmark Rovers playing coach, Josh Vader, out of the side today and not coaching. So he is not here.
So he's having a holiday. It is school holiday.
Well, not quite a holiday from what I've been told, but either way, he is not here, so we wish Josh all the best, and no doubt he will be listening in this afternoon, 5RM football.
Yes, now, Lockie, talking about this game today, did you have the other changes there? Do you want to list them as well?
I do. So Steve Carlon comes in for the Renmark Rovers. For Barmera Monash, Mason Middleton out of the side from last week. In comes Matthew Wilden.
Yeah, got the lowdown on Mason Middleton. Broken finger, I'm hearing, and not wanting to risk it. And the word was that if this was a final, he'd be playing. So, fair enough. I suppose if it was a final, you'd play with a broken leg almost if you're as big as him.
He nearly could.
Could stay in the forward pocket.
Well, he best on ground last week.
He was in a cracking game of footy. Hey, which reminds me, here we are today at the Lakeside, looking at the number 1 and number 2 seeded teams in the RFL. So Barmera Monash number 1, Renmark number 2 seeds. About to play today. They are yet to play. They've got to play one more time in the minor round, the last minor round game. Then they'll line up in the second semi-final, and I'm predicting the grand final. So this is the first leg of a 4-leg series, is it?
Just about could be. Look, and it probably, in all seriousness, looking at 5RM football going ahead, this will be the last time that we do this combination before the finals.
So we'll miss the next game, but we'll probably get the 2 after that.
It would take a fair miracle for a team to pop up to second on the ladder at the moment. We will talk about the other games in a second, but yes, you are right. There is a lot of football between these two sides to come. Of course, next week too is a week off for the SA Country Champs, so we'll keep an eye on that one here at 5RM Football as always. We do it thanks to Riverland Motor Group and, of course, McDonald's Renmark. They are supporting local sport, and spicy shaker fries and spicy chicken nuggets are back at Macca's. Just looking at the wind, though, Nobby. Now, look, sailing out on Lake Bonny today. The Royal Lake Bonny Yacht Club out and about doing their thing, which is great to see.
I was there having a coffee this morning, Lockie, on my way to the ground, and the boats were turning up, and I looked at it. And then, since I've got to the ground, I've relied on my local weatherman here, and we'll call him Bob X. He tells me there's an easterly breeze coming here, which is an unusual breeze here at the Lakeside.
It could be. Last week, Barmera Monash defeated Lochs North pretty comfortably in the end in what was probably not the most ideal day for footy, let's be honest, but a lot of the scoring at the eastern end of the ground.
Yes, at the bowling club end, we'll call it, will we?
I think we'll roll with that.
Yep.
That sounds good.
Yep, and it was. And by the way, I did talk to some people before I come up to the booth here, and someone said that I must have referred to the oval as Little Lake Bonny last week because there was lakes of water on it. and I know we talked about it after the game and thought, gee whiz, the best thing they could do here is give this a rest during the week and not turn up. But you turn up today and it looks beautiful.
Certainly does.
It's recovered beautifully, been well mowed, and you wouldn't even know it was what we saw last week.
As always, it's always a great crowd here at the Lakeside, and it's one of our favourite ovals to broadcast from here at beautiful Lake Bonny. A couple of events going on today, Nobby. There is Ladies' Day, which is filling the marquee over there, but also there is the Cobdogler Football Club 1984 Premiership Reunion here today at Barmera.
And they recovered the long-lost flag, didn't they?
It surfaced. The missing Premiership flag did surface, which is great to see. Captain's going to the middle to toss the coin.
Umpires today, who, Lockie, you've been down to
We've
see?
got Todd Charlton's out there, and also
Tony Florence?
and Mick Trussell's out there as well. So
You've been down to the umpires' room?
I have.
How
yes.
are they going?
They actually wanted your number, Nobby, and exact location. Not sure why, but I was more than happy to pass on the digits. Just watching this now, the coin up in the air. And just going to see, looks like we might have, oh no, Sam Butterworth, the Barmera Monash Roos, has won the toss, and he's going to be kicking to the western end. We'll call that the yacht club end.
Yeah, the yacht, and he's pointed straight that way, and that's with the breeze, I'm guessing. And looking straight across the ground at the Australian flag sitting at the top of the pole there, and it is flapping that way. And I think it's a 2 or 3 goal breeze in old terms, and probably about 10 kilometres an hour in BOM terms.
Cannot wait. 2 minutes until the game gets underway. Quickly, 2 other games going on today. We've got Loxton hosting Berry at Tigerland, and at Waikerie it's the Magpies and Loxton North. That game, the second one there, could be pretty important for Loxton North.
Number 3 seed Waikerie hosting the number 5 seed, and the number 5 seed, the Panthers, probably need to win this to stay in the hunt. Wouldn't be out of it mathematically, but you'd be starting to worry as to whether you could tip out Loxton or Waikerie in that top 4.
And on the flip side of that, if Waikerie were to jag a win today, it wouldn't seal a final spot, but I tell you what, it would be pretty hard to bump them out.
Yeah, and
too clear with only 5 games to go.
Which is why I've got them seeded 3rd. I think the Pies are always difficult. They always play to the last siren, and at home you've got to be thinking they are a very, very tough proposition. Probably even a tough proposition for either of these two sides we're about to watch today.
Yep. Look, just on we mentioned this at the start of the broadcast. Renmark playing coach Josh Vader not playing today. In a coaching sense, I don't think game day, what he does really is going to make, this is not going to sound great, I don't think him missing is going to be a big influence on the game. Coaching, but playing, yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at both, and you're right. And what you're hinting at, Lockie, is that the rotations at the
structures,
the
systems in place
is pretty well run, player run, and within their groups. But you know the interesting thing about this, it gives the Renmark Rovers a chance to line up a bit differently, to try a few things. And I'm wondering, Lockie, we've seen a bit of Nick Gillard early in the season. We know how dangerous he is up forward. I'm wondering whether he'll play up a bit higher, possibly have a run on the ball, and maybe come up into the middle of the ground, which might change things up a bit. So I'll be interested to see that. In Barmera Monash's space, no Middleton today creates a whole different thing, considering he was BOG last week for him and dominant around the ground on ball. We'll see Jordan Freeman, who's the vice-captain, starting in ruck for him, and I was thinking a bigger role for him today.
Here we are, ball up in the air. Good tap from Barmera Monash. They go forward through Jack Austin, but it's the Rovers that get the first clearance through Ricky Garrett, taking the football to the southern wing. Barmera Monash able to intercept. Good hands, good possession, moving the football along well. Over the back of the pack it goes. Can the Rovers mop this one up on half-back? No, they can't. Tackle it is, but a quick handball out to Gardtree. Rovers look a little bit worried and a bit panicked, but we'll get a ball up.
That ball off half-back came from Luke Thomas, who's in today. Had the week off last week. Probably will be better for that, not playing in those heavy conditions last week.
Chris Bondi now taking the ruck work for Barmera Monash, and they're able to drive the football to half forward, but intercept from the Rovers, and that is Dan Wolford, his first touch of the day. Takes the football to the lakeside wing, and that's another Wolford that picks it up.
Finds his brother, out here, Matt handball on. Renmark starting this game in pretty good shape, pushing the ball forward at every opportunity.
Just umpires called this on, though. Play on advantage, the call. Ball up towards half forward. Jake Smith for the Barmera Monash Roos gets a handball out, but the Renmark defence working hard. Trying to lock this one in. Dragged it back in. Risky, but they're able to get away with it. And now the Rovers through the 21 of Dan Wolford. Yeah,
definitely in play here. We're seeing the Rovers chipping the ball around a bit into that breeze. Butterfield onto the left boot. Drives it deep into the forward lines for Barmera Monash.
I like that new name, new player, Butterfield. I'm liking that. Nobby. Barmera Monash, first shot of the day on goal, and it's a minor score.
Well, it was a fleeting Butterworth.
I like it. Butterfield.
I got it a little bit crossed up, but we'll go with that, shall we?
That was Jono Beach with that first shot there. Minor score it is.
Yeah, and, interestingly enough, we're talking about Middleton being missing today, he didn't play against Renmark the last time they played. So maybe a good opportunity for Jack Austin in ruck against his former team.
Very, and we didn't mention that. I mean, last time these two sides met, we did mention that a fair bit.
Yeah.
On the kick out, that's gone out of bounds. Must have got a hand on it somewhere because umpire says ball it in.
Yeah, Renmark player Harry Beavis just getting a snick on that to prevent Barmera from taking a free kick in their forward lines. Jake Smith back in today. We missed him last week. He was the runner coach last week for Barmera.
He was doing a fair bit of coaching from what I saw. That's Rowe for Renmark, still in the back lines. Rovers trying to work this one forward. They go back towards the boundary line. They slock a kick back inboard. Barmera Monash through Douglas into their attacking 50 again. Rover defence working overtime, but it's found Butterworth.
Nearly got it.
He kicks it forward, but it's been stopped for the Rovers.
Hey, look, Fraser Douglas was a good player for Barmera Monash last week. One of the two phrases they have, Lockie, just if you're working on names.
Yeah.
And he played quite well, and he started it like he finished.
Kick out from the Rovers. Barmera Monash looking dangerous again. Not able to use the footy cleanly. Butterworth again. Handball out to Smith. Handball's back over the top. Finds Drugamulla. Drugamulla shot on goal. Minor score again.
Yeah, good chain of handball there from three of the Barmera Monash main guys in the middle in Butterworth, Smith and Drugamulla. Gave Drugamulla a shot at goal, but he couldn't make the most of it.
Kicking from a fair angle on the pocket.
Yeah.
That breeze would be a bit tricky from there too. Rovers now with a couple of kicks. This is 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group.
Renmark keen to play a bit of keepings off here into the breeze, just chipping it around, trying to keep the ball away from their opponents. Matt Wolford deep in defence, as was Dan Wolford. You'll see them a fair bit up that end of the ground into the breeze, I'd imagine.
Small kick back inboard. Barmera Monash just two behinds on the Value Care scoreboard so far.
That one was to Tim Blight, I think.
Yeah.
Thorpe,
a couple of handballs.
Yep.
Now to Garrett. Intercept by the Barmera Monash Ruse. Goes to the ground.
Yeah, the no-look handball there from Bonnie. And
Jack Austin getting a bit of attention.
And it was a no-look because it didn't go to anyone, not even one of his teammates.
Well, Jack Austin there with a... I wouldn't say there was anything in it, but maybe just saying, oh, g'day, Jack, how are you?
He's back out. He's out playing against his former side and letting them know that he's not on their team anymore.
Nearly won a ruck tap against Gartree. You take that.
Interesting contest, that. Two former teammates, premiership teammates, come up against each other for the second time this year.
Yeah, so ball in on the lakeside wing. Oh, it's a good throw-in from the umpires. Good tap from Austin, but it finds Jared Rowe. He dives on it and holds it in.
Yeah, it has started strongly today, Rowe, doing some of the tough work in and under the... Maybe you'd see Coach Vader do.
Tap from Gartree, takes it to the far, near wing, and it's out of bounds. We've got 5 and a bit minutes gone. First quarter, Riverland football on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group, and the Kia Carnival has arrived at Riverland Kia, East Terrace, Loxton.
Barmera Monash with a 2-point lead, 2 points to 0.
Ball in. Rovers not able to pick this one up. Oh, now they can. Gartree it nearly went the wrong way. Kicks it inboard and finds his old teammate, who's now the Barmera Monash coach.
Fraser won.
Fraser Sampson.
Fraser Sampson.
Gets the ball on quickly, and he's kicked to a former teammate as well. It's a little bit tricky. Royal blue and double blue. There's a bit of blue out there today.
Declan Johnson takes that ball, tries to take it wide, but was intercepted by Lucas Warner for Barmera Monash, and it's out there on the wing. Bit of a stacks on the mill. The umpire will run across there for a ball up.
He's going to hold that one in. A tight game early. 6 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland football on 5RM. Ball up. Gartree running on for Dennis Lee run up. Unable to get a
Would you say, Lockie, that in previous matches, and I'm going all the way back to last season's grand final, Barmera Monash sort of had the wood. They were harder at the ball and better contested side. To me, it looks like Renmark have come out here keen to put an imprint on the contest.
Yeah, I like it. What do they say? Stamping their authority.
Yep.
I like it.
I mean, they've been beaten at what I call hardball gets in a couple of previous encounters, and today they've come out saying, well, we're not going to get beaten on the ground for the hard ball. We're going to take that ball, that contested possession.
Gartree taps inboard, finds Rowe. The Rovers on the attack, still in the centre square. Barmera Monash aren't able to get the kick away. Now the Rovers are on the attack. Ricky Garrett picks it up. Umpire's called something. We'll go back.
Yeah, the Renmark player just held on a little bit too long. It was probably a possession that when the Barmera player got rid of it, that wasn't really up to scratch, but the ball had left the contest and he hung on.
So that didn't go too far, probably about 30 metres up the field. Barmera Monash and Renmark will go up for another ball up. Barmera Monash read that well, drive it to half forward. But it's the Rovers off half-back that managed to intercept, and it's found Trevor Thorpe on the far wing.
Yeah, that was Douglas in the middle for Barmera Monash with that bandaged right knee.
A small kick over the top, hits the deck, Ricky Garrett.
Nice fake there of the umpire by Ricky Garrett, sort of claiming that he might have marked it, but it wasn't in one hand, one bounce.
And it's found Tim Wolford. He just holds station on the far wing here at Barmera Monash.
Ooh,
goes inboard, looks for Rowe, out in front.
He's got help.
Run onto that, manages to get a hands on it, goes to ground. He might get a holding the high here. He has. He's done that a few times and knows what the go is.
Yeah, umpire grummet right onto that, not far away from the contest. A good call.
Absolutely.
Nice kick forward. Finds Tim Wolford covering a heap of ground for Renmark.
Kicks to the pocket, looks for a target. And Rhett Perry, that was, unable to get his hands on it cleanly, and it spilled over.
Made good position. Renmark are using the ball well here into the breeze.
Absolutely. If they could, say, break even with this breeze, you'd call that a win.
Oh, I think if you're not 2 goals down, you're in front. That sounds
Johnson.
silly, doesn't it? But that's how I'm looking at it.
Decky Johnson there nearly had a shot on goal, but just held it in, and we'll get another ball up. Still in the Rovers attacking 50. Barmera Monash trying to clear it out. Butterworth got a good kick away. Found the middle of the ground. Jake Smith reads it. Just bombs it to space.
Yeah, and plenty of space out there for Lucas Warnett to run onto, but beaten to the ball.
Able to get a second crack at it. He was tackled without it, sort of, and we'll get a ball up inside the attacking 50.
Morgan Edwards putting him on the ground there, number 38.
I will
Yes, it was.
Get the periscope out. It's a fair way away.
Yep. So he made good ground to get to the contest and applied a strong tackle. Out of comes Barmera, but no, Tim Wolford now in the back line sparming it out.
And now we got Renmark trying to work this one through. There's Edwards again. Brings it back in board. Finds Dan Wolford. Now to Tim. Over to Rowe. Rowe through the middle of the field. Has a bounce. He's about to be swamped by Roos, but gets out of it. And finds Declan Johnson on the far wing.
How did Rowe pull that off? He was 1-on-3 and he managed to weave his way through them all.
And now
Wolford again, up onto the wing this time.
Matt Wolford, a Renmark player there, goes to ground. Was that just a bit of a friendly fire? I think it might have been.
I think he had a loose shoelace, Lockie, and tripped on it.
Rovers now in attacking
Gillard,
50.
yep.
Gillard. No one front and centre from the Rovers. Barmera Monash able to get their hands on it.
Pressure's good from Renmark.
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball. That's Gillard. When in second man in at the tackle. Now, without the wind, he'd be a chance here, but he'd need 2 of his kicks to get there this time. Centres the ball, looking for the big fella.
It was Haynes. He was the target. Barmera get their hands on it. A couple of quick handballs. They're going to have to be quick. There's Wilden. They've managed to work that one through as far as half-back. And now the Rovers will go on the rebound.
Here he is again, Matt Wolford.
Matt Wolford just outside the attacking 50 for the Rovers.
I'm going to have my stats column full by quarter time if he keeps going like this.
Gets told to play on. Gillard the target. He might get a free here. I think he has.
No, he's given away the free.
Okay.
He was in the middle of that contest and he's infringed Jamison Whitbourne.
Barmera Monash take it inboard. That's Bonnie, Justin. Just going across the field. Always looks dangerous on a day like today when you see those kicks.
Renmark marshalling up the troops behind the ball. Barmera might find it hard to get through that line without some run, but here comes the run. But there it is. Morgan Edwards cuts that off for Renmark. Handballs into Dan Wolford. Looks up, short kick across to a teammate on the wing.
That is Tim Wolford. A lot of Wolford link-up handballs once again.
Yep, here comes Matt cruising in. Back to his brother Dan. He couldn't quite pull that in. And I'm watching in the back play as Matt Wolford cruises forward. He was going to be the third Wolford in that trifecta, but the ball didn't come forward.
Fraser Sampson, the player that just walked that one over the line for a ball in on the far wing. Just 2 points so far to Barmera Monash. 5 Riverland football.
Lovely handball out of that play from Mitchell Jenke. that the ball goes forward, but Barmera cutting it out. Out they come.
Spilios with the footy and still inside the defensive 50. Takes it to the far wing, far back flank. Fraser Sampson moves it on quickly.
Jake Smith shoots out the handball, takes it back. Nice for the stats. One handball, now a kick forward.
Still up to half forward for Barmera and Monash. They're looking a bit dangerous here. Centering the footy, but there's no one there for the Roos.
That was Beach trying to get into Beavis. Beavis cuts it out. Handball to Wolford. Takes a bounce. He's got his brother out wide. Uses him. Chips it up again. Another safe passage of football.
That's Henderson for the Rovers. Just kicks it back inboard.
Yeah, they're playing keeping off here, which is a clever footy when you're playing into a win like this.
To Mason now. Back to Matt Wolford.
Lovely kick to Gillard, who deserved that. He was in front, made good position, took a high contact from Joe Ricketts there. He's got his hands full, looks up, in the middle he goes, finds Dan Wolford from Renmark.
Small kick from Dan to the centre circle. It hit the deck.
I reckon he was looking into the sun there, Lockie, and couldn't get at the ball.
Carlon for the Rovers, able to scoop that one up, but didn't go too far. And umpire Charlton's called, holding the ball. And
yeah, it looked like in the back, but he'd actually disposed of it incorrectly before that came along. So good call there by umpire Charlton.
Beach now shoots it wide. That's a trip, and that will be a 25-metre penalty.
See, Lockie,
wasn't intentional.
See, I'm making amends for last week, Lockie. You can see that.
Barmera Monash now into their attacking 50, and a great mark, uncontested. And that is Ben Drugamullah with the footy.
Yeah.
He'll be kicking from all of 50 out.
Yeah, but this
on
is
a fair angle.
This is within range. The breeze is right behind him. He's got the spinnaker. If you're out on the lake, Lockie, you'd have the spinnaker up here if you're Ben Drugamullah, because the breeze is right at your back.
Still no goals on the scoreboard. He gives it a roost. Has it got the accuracy? It hasn't. It's a minor score.
Takes Barmera Monash to 3 points to the visitors' Renmark yet to score. So a 3-point lead well into this quarter. And you'd be thinking that Renmark be quite happy with their work today.
14 minutes gone. First quarter Riverland football for the Riverland Motor Group. The new Kia Carnival has arrived. Check it out, East Terrace, Loxton.
When's the Kia Ute coming, Lockie?
We'll have to ask about that one this week, because we need some stuff. We need a vehicle to carry some more equipment.
Gee, it'd be good with 5RM football across the side of it, wouldn't it?
I might have to chat to the team at Riverland Kia pretty soon on that one. So a ball in on the lakeside boundary, getting a lot of ball in so far. That breeze not going away. Wolford gets a good kick away. That was Matt. Into the centre square, hits the deck. A couple of good handballs. There's Dan Wolford. Now, has Dan got someone to kick it to? He hasn't. Just kicks it to space. Run onto it. Declan Johnson.
Which is not a bad play in today's conditions, Lockie, to find that space and run to it.
Handball back in board. Barmera Monash trying to scoop this one up.
Ricketts a handball to Thomas. Thomas looks up, looking to do something with the football, and finds a teammate on the chest.
That's
at
Beach.
half forward. Beach looks up, goes long towards the goal square, but only as far as...
Oh, that's a great mark.
Only as far as...
That was Ricky Garrett. That's the mark of the day.
Yep, that was a solid mark, and a solid contested mark, Lockie.
Absolutely. Just a gutsy defensive
row
mark.
back onto the ground for Renmark, and sitting up here on the wing, if they can just get it up to him, but they can't. He's sitting right behind Thomas in the back play, and Jack Albrecht with the job. I wondered how long it'd be before someone went to row, and Jack Albrecht's gone to him, and we know he's a handy run with player.
Douglas into the 50. Great mark from the Barmera Monash Roos, and that is Dane Austin. He's going to go back for a shot on goal, and this could be our first goal of the day for Berry Better.
That was almost an unintended mark. He was laid into that pack, sort of looking to make position, and the ball carried, and he pulled it down. Looking into the sun too, might I add.
So he'll be kicking from all of 15 out.
Left-hand goalpost as we're looking at it. Just
Slide angle.
Let it come back on the breeze. So if he goes not as far left as he thinks he should, it'll come right.
Looks good off the boot. It's drifting, but it doesn't matter. That's the first goal of the day.
Yeah, great kick from Austin. Summed up the conditions beautifully and made no mistake.
Takes the margin out to 9 on the Value Care scoreboard. And Dane Austin, the clubhouse leader of the Berry Better goal of the day. You're always the clubhouse leader when you kick the first.
Absolutely. And on a day like today where scoring's been tough in this first quarter, they might be few and far between.
Well, 7-8 minutes gone. Not sure how much time on we'll have, but certainly a lot of run out there today, and maybe this could be a taste of what's to come later in the year.
Well, interestingly enough, in these conditions, there hasn't been a lot of boundary throw-ins either. The ball's been inside the white line, almost rollerball style.
And teams taking...
That's a movie from a long time ago.
Going through the gauntlet. They're going through, not afraid to go through the centre, which we like.
And Renmark quite happy to chip that ball around that 15 metres for the next mark, and don't really care whether it's back into the middle.
Just seeing what's going on here. I think ball. I think we might need another footy.
Yep, he's hit it for 6. It's gone over the fence. I can see it. It's out on the road outside the ground.
So
runner goes over the fence looking for it. Hope he doesn't have to pay to get back in.
Yeah, the spare footy is on the way. This is why we love Riverland footy. The things you see.
Yep, this can only happen in country footy.
Absolutely.
Umpire Grummett heaves the ball skyward, the spare ball.
Hope it's not last week's waterlog one. Anyway, Renmark get the clearance away. They've taken it up to half forward. Can they get the rebound? Nearly
nice
a couple
play.
of
Thomas
roos.
Couldn't quite bring it in, but ends up with it back in his lap on the ground. Through goes Garrett, drives the ball forward for Renmark, and nice mark from Gillard. And I'll tell you what, that's a nice catch. Now, he will take this shot from about 45 metres out, kicking directly into the breeze. And we know what a great kick at goal he is, but he's looking around. I don't think he thinks he's got the distance.
Certainly a tough kick. He'd be kicking from just inside the painted 50, you would think.
Gee, what a view we've got of this one, Lockie, from the commentary box.
Gives it a roost. It's bending
coming back. Whoa!
Unable to mark it, still in play.
Gee whiz, Gartery nearly pulling down that ball. Rush through for a behind. So that will be Renmark's first score of the day. One rush behind, playing Barmera Monash 1-3-9, 8-point lead to the Lakesiders.
That was Ricketts that just walked that one over the line.
Does he get that?
The behind, no. Own behind. Yeah. Own the Euros
ball
at the moment.
Coming back into the forward line from the Renmark Rovers. They've set that wall up across half forward. Nice tackle, but Barmera Monash player shrugs it. I think that was Butterworth. Broke free. But looks up, can only find a Renmark player. Across to Thorpe, who's just inside the goal square at their forward end. Looks up, shoots the ball high, and then here's a bit of a contract for Gillard, having to stand under that high ball.
Still in the range of Renmark's goal on half forward. They're going to get a free kick here, and that's going to go to Barmera Monash. No?
Yeah, it is. It was a front-on attack on the ball, and I think he might have just copped the top of Gillard's shoulder in the face there. It was unintentional, I think. We'll say it was.
Saxon Mitchell there. Yeah. Saxton Mitchell with that one. So, he's coming off for a quick breather.
Yeah, just coming off to check that all the teeth are still in the places where they were when he started.
Oh, Chris Bonney with the lollipop handball. This is dangerous. Renmark can make something out of this if they're clever. Now Butterworth goes through traffic, finds a teammate in the middle in Whitbourne. Now it's Fraser Sampson. He's tackled. There's 3 Rovers on him. That's holding the ball.
Yeah, good call too. Ducked his head into that after the first tackle. Ball comes back to Renmark. They drive it straight down the middle into the breeze, looking for Gillard again, but Bonney in the back play takes the mark, looks up, finds his brother Justin out wide, but he's got a bit of a contract, gets around 2 Renmark players and goes back down the middle and finds Jordan Freeman, the vice-captain, at half-back.
Just a controlled kick to the far wing. Just hold station for a second.
Is that Beach all the way up the ground?
Butterworth.
Looks for Smith, who's pretty much playing a stay-at-home game in the middle and quite effective with it. Shoots the handball to Jack Albrecht, who looks out wide for Fraser Douglas. Looks to come back on his left, but can't get back on there. Lovely kick into the forward line.
That's Wilden.
Finds Wilden in his return to the A-grade side today.
So just hold station for a sec. Went to kick it and then thought again. Now drives into the attacking 50. Looking for a target, but it was Zach Archery from the Rovers that read that too well and got the mark.
Yeah, finds the big fella with the best ruckman in country South Australia still.
Well, the zone championships are next weekend. Haven't heard any who's been got the call up yet, so we'll might do some digging on that one.
Well, he's the reigning SA country champs ruckman, isn't he? So I'm going to go with that.
Rovers through Brodie Rover now on half back.
Gee, they've had some possessions this quarter, haven't they?
Certainly.
Denied the ball to the Roos.
Inboard the ball goes. That was Jackson that had a crack at it. Now it's Spilios for the Roos. He back turns a couple. Gets a good kick away, but it finds Tim Wolford.
Back turned himself there, or maybe his shadow.
Looks up and finds a teammate in Smith. The Rovers now, can they get a late goal? No, they can't. It was intercepted by the Roos.
The Renmark player there giving up on the ball, Declan Johnson, letting his opponent run in and cut it out.
It's 1-3-9 to 1 behind on the Value Care scoreboard. There it is, quarter time at the Lakeside. You just heard it. Barmera Monash, 1-3-9 to the Renmark Rovers, just 1 behind. A contest of football we have here at the Lakeside. We will go back to the Sideline View studio and find out what is happening around the Riverland and Mallee this afternoon when it comes to all things sport. Rob, have I got you?
The action here on 5RM across the Riverland, specifically though this afternoon, round 11 of the RFL with Lockie and Trevor at Lakeside. Boys, are you there?
We are, Rob. Thank you as always. Yeah, look, the wind at the Lakeside has just held up for the moment, but still that's not taking anything away from the action this afternoon here at the Lakeside. Barmera Monash now about to take their spots. Well, they've, what do you call that when they split from the huddle? Maybe it's just they split from the huddle. It's probably the best way to describe it, Nobby, isn't it?
When they head back into action.
I like it.
There we go.
Renmark Rovers just taking a little bit more time about to head out now.
Yeah, interesting first quarter, Lockie. And, even though Barmera Monash holding an 8-point lead, 1-3 to the 1 point, I would say the points are with Renmark after that quarter because they controlled the ball for longer periods of the game and had some quite good forward entries as well. If it wasn't a windy day and they had equal access at the big sticks, I would say Renmark are right in the hunt here. Interesting how they controlled the footy. Good players for Renmark during the first quarter were they worked hard. There was Matthew Wolford, Jared Rowe, who I thought was possibly their best player. Some good efforts by Ricky Garrett, who also currently clubhouse leader for Mark of the Day. And I thought Dan Wolford also did his bit, and Tim. For Barmera Monash, Fraser Douglas, Jake Smith controlled the middle of the ground. Butterworth was everywhere like he normally is, and Thomas off half-back was pretty good.
Here we are, second quarter underway at the Lakeside. Tap backwards from Gartree, the Rovers. They're now kicking to the western end, the attacking end so far today. Still in the centre square, hedging closer to the side of it, and we'll get a ball up.
The interest in this quarter will be how Renmark played. We saw them chip it around, play short. Will they go long direct at the goals this quarter?
Good tap from Gartree. Rowe tried to run onto it, tapped it onto the ground. Spilios was in there. Oh, great pick up from Rowe. Got a handball out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, incorrect disposal.
Yeah, might have been a little bit of a volleyball.
And the other alternative will be how did Barmera come into this breeze? And they're playing the same way as they did with it. Beavis cutting that ball out of half-back. Is it Beavis?
No, that's
the big fella.
That is...
it's Brody Rover.
Brody Rover, yes, correct. Good stuff, Nobby. Name escaped me there. Thomas now for Barmera Monash. Handball's back in board.
Short kick from Bonnie, picking up a lovely little catch there, one-handed. Started off the quarter very well again, Chris Bonnie, after a solid first quarter.
Gets told to play on. Drives it just to the attacking 50. Great mark from John O'Beach.
Yeah, off hands, but claimed it, and I don't mind that.
So just going to hold station for a second. Now gets told to play on. Get on with it. Kicks it to the pocket. Spilios was on his own. It's dropped short, and it's found Jake Smith.
Yeah, the experience of Smith and Beach there. Smith playing in front, knowing that when you're kicking into the breeze, it is going to drop short, and he was the only one that could mark that.
I tell you what, right in front of the marquee this afternoon as well. You couldn't have scripted better, Nobby Norton.
No, the junkyard Jake, he can make this happen. It'll be a bit of a helicopter. Even on his best day, sometimes they're helicopters, and into this breeze, that won't hurt.
The pressure's on, kicks it to the top of the square. Great mark from the Rovers. Oh, okay, it's been a free kick's been paid to Barmera Monash here.
For a little bit high.
Okay, now 25 metre penalty. Now this will be straight in front. Wow, that's going to be Austin, one of the Austin.
Yeah, the umpire was quite clear that there was a little bit of an elbow in there. And,
I'm sorry, it's Beach.
Yeah.
So John O'Beach for goal number 2 for the Roos. Mark it down because that's through.
I've marked it down, Lockie, and that takes Barmera Monash to 2 goals, 3-15 to Renmark, 1 point only.
14-point margin on the Value Care scoreboard. Yeah, look, it looked like a Renmark Rovers mark there, but umpire was right there and he saw it.
Yeah, I thought actually the Renmark player was going to pick up a free kick, Morgan Edwards, for a bit of a push in the back, but obviously there's a bit more going on in that pack than we could see from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So still a bit of discussion out there between the two sides. Interesting one. 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for McDonald's at Renmark.
It was a clever kick by Jake Smith to set it up in a dangerous position rather than kick what was probably easy to do, a point. But so he set it up in the dangerous position.
Was that intentional though, or was that
I think it was. You know,
it wasn't just a consequence of.
I think basically him and Beachy were waxing it because Beachy kicked it to him, so he kicked it back to him.
Now back in the middle, Barmera Monash get a couple of hands on it. They're starting to awaken. They're getting a few more clean possessions.
Yeah, a little bit harder at the football too. You only had to see how Drugamella went through that on that loose ball. He was running in a straight line. I think that's something that probably Renmark had the advantage in the first quarter. Barmera they've ramped it up in the contest.
So another ball up, still in the centre square, drifts towards the southern wing, taps forward, paddled it was. Ben Drugamella in there, so is Rowe. Now the Rovers get a couple of hands on it.
Garrett centres it to Tim Wolford. Tim looks straight up, and yes, they go direct and down the middle.
Oh, couldn't quite mark it. That was Haynes. Just popped it forward. Got the right position. Still back in board, the Rovers, through Matt Wolford. Handball's back over his head. And the Roos are going to rake this one up, or maybe not. Dan Wolford tried to run onto it. Still paddling it forward. He's going to get a free kick here.
Being held without the ball was Rhett Perry, I reckon, there, Lockie, and he's about to have a free kick right on the 50-metre line in the lakeside forward pocket. I think range is probably not quite on here, and pretty difficult position to kick it from with a howling breeze ripping across from the Barwell Avenue side of the ground.
So, Rhett Perry, he's going to be kicking from outside the 50.
Nice kick, though, into a dangerous spot to the big fella, but clears the pack for one behind.
And it's a minus score. Brings the margin down to 13.
Yep. Renmark 2 points to Barmera Monash 2 goals 3.
The Value Care scoreboard, they value your care.
This is the defensive side of the oval, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of goals kicked from over here unless it's from 2 or 3 metres out.
Referring to the lakeside wing.
Yep, absolutely.
Here at Barmera this afternoon. Looks like sailing's wrapped up.
Yeah, and saying that, Barmera Monash take the ball back out, the defensive side, into the attacking side for Renmark. Jared Rowe onto that ball as it came out too. He's having a big influence on the game for the Rovers. In Coach Josh Bader's absence, he stepped into his role, I think.
So we're going to get a ball in the far forward pocket for the Rovers. They trail by 13, not able to run onto it. He's just got he had his head over the ball. Umpire says play on. Butterworth walks that one over the boundary line. We'll get a ball in.
Yeah, interesting. You'd be thinking that that goal into the wind by Barmera Monash shows you that playing the game between your ears, you can score that in.
Barmera Monash still trying to clear this one out. There's Rowe again. He is on for a Murray Pioneer Man of the Match nomination this afternoon, if he can keep this up.
Yep, got a few ticks next to his name in my book, Lockie, but so have a few others.
So another ball up. Still in Renmark's attacking 50. Unable to move it forward. And that's gone over. Oh, Jared Rowe picks it up off the deck. A wild kick towards the goals. Walked over the boundary line.
Spilios, I reckon, playing deep in defence there.
And we'll just get another ball in.
No, it wasn't. It was Joe Ricketts.
2 metres around from Renmark's goal. Can they make something out of this? They tap forward. Johnson tried to read it off the deck, but he couldn't. And now Barmera Monash clear it out. There's Albrecht. Gets a handball out while he was tackled. Umpire is going to pay. That's holding the ball. Right, yeah. Incorrect disposal, I think.
Yeah, and that free kick will be taken by
Dan Wolford.
Which is probably not the bloke you want with the ball in his hands, that close to goal.
He's going to be kicking from the, what are we calling that, the Barwell Avenue pocket?
Yeah, what's his chances, Lockie?
Oh,
70%, 7 out of 10?
Be greater than 60. We'll go 65-35, all right? How does that sound?
Yeah.
Ball's on the way.
It's 100%. It's through
Looks
the middle.
Good. And that's the Rovers' first goal of the day.
And the third goal of the match, first for Renmark going to that end. And you'd be thinking that where he kicked that from is exactly the attacking part where you need to be, which is what surprised me that Barmera Monash cleared the ball to that side of the ground.
So 7 or nearly 8 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland football on 5RM. The Renmark Rovers now just trail by 7.
Yep, Bonnie into the ruck for Barmera Monash. Off the boundary, back into play comes Aidan Scordo, straight back into the middle. With Jake Smith, he's positioning them all out there in the middle, waving the arms around. He's in charge of that centre square for Barmera Monash. Big fellas are up.
Another ball up. It's Renmark. Ricky Garrett.
Yeah,
good kick into the attacking 50.
Having a great game. And Gillard with speed couldn't quite gather it in.
At full tilt.
Yeah.
He gave it the full extension.
Gee, his closing speed on that ball was pretty impressive, but he still couldn't pick it up. Turned it into a Yorker, really.
You can hear the wind picking up now again at the lakeside. It might be time to get that spinnaker back out.
Yep. Ball up again. You see Renmark are playing a totally different game with the breeze at their backs than they did in the first quarter. Another tackle on the ball, and their pressure is upped again.
And no shortage of breeze. Ball up. Doesn't go too far, and we'll get another one. Around 40 out from the Renmark Rovers goal.
No one sitting back off the pack for Renmark. They're all in there. Fraser Sampson, he's got the hat on again. He's got the the bandage he finished with last week. He must have opened up something that was open last week.
So Barmera and Monash able to clear that one out, but Renmark have other thoughts. Still on the far wing. Ben Drugamullah, good pick up from Barmera and Monash. He was tackled. That's holding the ball. Play on advantage, the call. The Rovers waste no time. Into the attacking 50, over the back. Declan Johnson, it's a wobbly old kick. Is this one going to run towards
Gillard
the goals? Now Gillard turns back in board. Snap kick.
Now there is.
That's the very better goal of the day.
There is the goal of the day without a doubt, and that'll take a bit of beating.
Just the 1 point in the margin on the Value Care scoreboard now.
Yeah, not only was that a great snap at goal, Lockie, but he had to gather the ball in. He contested the spilled ball, turned back onto his favoured left foot, and made pretty easy work of what was a difficult goal.
And how was the great bit of play too from Decky Johnson? Just sort of popped it out of that pack, just wobbled forward.
It was into the danger zone, basically. Just kept it moving towards his own goals.
Didn't have enough time to have a proper shot at the goal. Just, you know what, we'll just move this one forward. And as it turned out, great goal assist.
And tried not to kick the goal, which could have ended up in the behind, left it alive.
Great stuff.
Yep.
Great presence of mind. Back to the centre it is. 10.5 minutes gone.
Through goes the big fella to Tim Wolford, who gets it forward. Again, Renmark in. Plenty of players hitting the ball at speed.
It was Haynes was the target, but it missed all of them.
He's looking into the sun there. That end of the ground's not a great one to play in if you're a forward.
Back in board it is. Now heading towards the lakeside wing. This one's going to wobble over, and it does.
A couple of Renmark players sporting the long sleeves out there today, making it a bit hard for me to gather them in. But
and not one of them, Nathan Zunic.
No.
I mean, the original.
No.
He set the trend for the sleeves.
Yeah, he certainly did. The one that's surprising me a little bit that I can't find is Stephen Colan, who I hadn't seen before.
He is out there with the sleeves. Now into the attacking zone for Renmark. Over the boundary line it is. That wind picking up again.
Gillard, a big factor there. I think the other player that they're setting up well behind the ball here, Renmark. So this is a tough ask for Barmera to try and get this out of their defence. We saw how good Renmark were in the first quarter of keeping the ball in their back line. The challenge is now on Barmera. Because Renmark are coming.
They're PS Industry, they're loading up the logs, mate. They're getting the steam going. Time to blow the whistle pretty soon. There's Jared Rowe. Kick it goal. It's wobbling towards the goals. Gillard, can he get a foot on it? He has. He's outdone himself for the goal of the day for very better.
He's now got 1 and 2 in that competition, Lockie, and no problems. It doesn't matter which one because he's got it.
Just said you're loading logs into the PS Industry. Well, it's got steam now, Nobby.
Yeah, look,
time to power into Lake Bonnie.
I was just about to say that Gillard was becoming a very dangerous player there in their forward lines, and mostly through his sureness of handling the footy, the loose ball, when it hits the deck. Others are having a bit of trouble trying to get a handle on it, fumbling a little, but not he. We know what a great kick he is too, Lockie.
Absolutely. You don't play 100-odd league games of football without being able to kick. Some would argue there are some players that have.
Plenty. Brodie Rover into the ruck now, giving a chop out for Zach Gartery, and gets hand to it.
Still in the centre it is. Wobbly old handball out. Butterworth tried to pick it up off the deck. He didn't get too far, and we'll have another ball up.
I would say in the scope of the game, with Renmark hitting the front for the first time, they are asking Barmera the question.
Yeah, 3-2-20 Renmark to the Barmera Monash Roos 2-3-15.
And it will be how Barmera answer this.
Another ball up. Still a fair way off half time. Only 13 minutes gone. Second quarter.
Interesting contest I'm looking at in the back play, Lockie. I'm looking at Trevor Rowe. I'm looking at Jared Rowe and Fraser Sampson. I'm not sure which one's tagging which there. Whether Rowe's actually keeping an eye on Sampson to stop that half-back drive or whether it's the other way around.
Booming kick into the attacking 50 for Renmark again. Sampson for the Roos got her hands on it. And now it's out to Bonnie. Bonnie handballs backtracks to Thomas. He gets it on the boot quickly. And this one's going to get the boundary line. No, it's not. The Rovers got their hands on it, holding the ball.
Yeah, another good call.
Brodie Rover.
Yeah, another good call. Didn't make an honest attempt to get rid of it. Just thought he'd let it roll out of his possession.
That's Justin Bonney now. Just kicks up the line, looks for Blight. Punch forward. Now Drugamulla runs through traffic. A wobbly old kick away.
Couldn't break the tackle, but was held on for too long after he got that scrubby kick forward. And Whitbourne with the kick for Barmera Monash. Crosses across centre wing and finds a teammate all on his own, but no closer to goal.
That's Butterworth inboard to Drugamulla.
Yeah, starting to get the wheels rolling for Barmera in the middle and around the ground on the ground contests.
Just watching got
Garrett.
Butterworth there. I think Declan Johnson might be having a bit of a run-with role there for a minute or two. We'll just keep an eye on that one. Wobbly old kick away, heading to the boundary. There's Declan Johnson, keeps it inboard, handballs over the top. Dan Walford runs onto it, kicks into the 50. Great mark from Gillard.
Yeah, he's proven a real problem for him.
No, that's Smith. Sorry, my apologies. Smith wastes no time. That's a booming kick. That's got all the breeze behind it. Over the line it goes. We'll get a ball in.
Yeah, interesting the way the two styles of footy that Renmark have brought to the game. One heading into the breeze and one with it, whereas Barmera haven't quite adapted to the kicking into it.
There's Thomas. Looks for Austin.
Nice mark.
Yep. Still on half back.
That's what you want from your big fellas.
15 and a half minutes gone. Won't go straight over the back there. No one read that one. Beach got a hands on it. Now the Roos come backwards, over the line it goes, and we'll get a ball in. And got a friend with us in the commentary box who's popped up for a bit of a chat this afternoon. And Lockie Dand is here, and from the Murray Pioneer Zone, sports main man.
What do you think of it so far, Lockie?
It's been a good game. I think Renmark have really come out firing. I'm impressed with their performance without Josh Bader. The Wolfords have really stepped up and leading the way, and I think this is arguably Dan's best performance of the season so far.
Yeah. And the role Rose played in that, missing his coach as well, stepped into a bit of a gap as well.
Yeah, definitely the case. And Renmark held possession a lot in that first quarter, as you spoke, and then they've really adapted with the breeze in this quarter and making a play of it.
Yep, Garrett to the big fella in ruck and running the ball forward, Renmark, without too much opposition, might I add. Plenty, but not using it as well as they should.
So the ball now on the Rovers attacking 50. We'll get a ball up. Just short of 17 minutes gone. Second quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group.
Yeah, Garrett starting to have an influence around those packs as well.
Hasn't gone too far. And just a little bit of a, not a scuffle, a bit of a, what would you say?
I think the other players that's been pivotal in their attacks this quarter has been Declan Johnson. He's given them a lot across half forward.
Young player really getting involved in the game, and he's just threatening to hit the scoreboard throughout this quarter.
Yeah, Garrett on top of it again. Umpire will come in and ball it up.
So a ball up just outside the attacking 50 for the Rovers. On the lakeside flank, we'll call it. They go over that painted 50. Can they make something out of this? They can't. A couple of good handballs for the Roos. They bring it up to half back, but it finds Trevor Thorpe, who opted against playing on.
He will cross this into the dangerous position, which he does, centres it.
Looking for a target. 2-on-1. Rovers unable to get their hands on it.
Oh, look, he comes out the back with it as Gillard couldn't get a decent kick
smothered.
away.
Now it's Jackson. He was tackled without it, holding the ball. That's the call.
Yeah, that's the small margins in our game. Had he got it on the boot, he probably would have kicked a goal. Without it, free kick against him.
So that didn't go through, register a score at all?
No,
it didn't.
No.
Righto. Still 5 points the margin. The visiting Rovers with the lead.
Sampson at half back for Barmera Monash, trying to keep his former team away from the goals and get some drive. Nice mark out there on the half back flank from Aiden Scordo. He's right amongst it since he's come back onto the ground.
Certainly proved quite the influence last week.
Yep. Oh, a lovely little mark drifted in over the top of the pack, Lockie, and that's Lucas Warnett.
Gets it on the boot quickly. Looks for Carlon, and that's who's found. Who's opposition in Carlon for the Rovers.
Oh, takes it on.
Brings it into half back, and that's going to be around the neck a bit high.
Had a couple of options, both with the name Wolford.
It's dropped short, but it doesn't matter. Matt able to
Here's
pick that
the
one up.
trifecta. Tim to Matt to Dan.
That's how they like it.
Yep. It's a bit like the Kelly brothers, isn't it? But there's only two of them.
Another ball now, still on the Barwell Avenue wing. Renmark, play on advantage is the call as Dan Wolford. He gets it on the boot quickly over the attacking 50 for the Rovers, but the Barmera Monash defence, once again, trusted, certified, and clears it out.
Out to the wing to Spilios. He has a bit of space, looks up, looks for the short pass, but can only find Trevor Thorpe from Renmark, who shoots it straight into the middle. Oh, the big fella says, don't argue. Jack Gartery puts out the don't argue, and off they go again into their forward line.
Great bit of defensive. Jordan Freeman for the Roos. Rakes it in and gets it on the boot, and that's gone out of bounds.
That could be into the lake.
Just about. We've lost one footy today. We can't lose another. So, Renmark with the kick.
Bonnie back onto the ground for Barmera Monash and back into the ruck. Try and stem the influence of Zach Gartery. He's having a little bit to say in this quarter.
Kicks it towards the goals, and that's gone out of bounds.
Yep, that'll be
with no score.
That'll be a kick for Barmera Monash to bring that one back in.
All right, so here we have it. It's Barmera Monash trailing by 5 as we approach half-time. 5-room football for McDonald's Renmark. Spicy shaker fries are back.
Down the middle, looking for Bonnie, but couldn't quite get his tentacle onto it. But Barmera coming clear with the football. Shoot it up the wings, town side. Yeah, and that Barmera Monash player taking his arms chopped there, but it's play to advantage. On they run with it. 2 bounces.
That's Spilios.
Spilios, third bounce.
3 bounces. Is he going to go again? No.
Nice kick,
Gets
though.
it on the boot.
Yeah, nice kick. And Beach dropping into the back play, but coming forwards Wilden in his return game after a knee injury early in the year, which required a little bit of cartilage repair. Finds himself, you say, 25 metres out, Lockie, directly in front.
Just for all intents and purposes, yeah, not much of an angle here. You'd say maybe 4.5 degrees if you had the
protractor out.
Trigonometry set out.
Look, this is still a difficult kick coming this way, but not for this young fella. Normally a pretty good shot at goal, but didn't make the distance.
You've done the commentator's curse again, Nobby, and the Renmark Rovers clear it out through Anspatch and Blight.
Sampson
out of bounds.
He didn't really want to grab that. He just wanted to leave it go over the boundary line so they have to kick in, but he had 2 Renmark players bearing down on him, so he had to try and take possession of it. An interesting isn't that the headgear Fraser Sampson finished in last week?
He did, but I did see him before the game. He is fresh.
Okay.
Ball in it is.
Dan Wolford, but handball straight to Fraser Sampson, who drives the ball back into the attack for Barmera, and a lovely little mark taken by Warnett there, one-handed. In the forward pocket, likely looking player, looks up, was looking for Bonnie, but that ball's been chopped out by Blight, I reckon. Oh, Tim Wolford, I think, playing in the back play. Looking up for a brother, can't find one, he's going to have to go down the line.
Kicks it up the line, doesn't go too far, and both teams trying to argue for it. It spills out. Fraser Sampson back turn, but no one was tackling him. Now Justin Bonnie takes it into the attacking 50. Spilios, the target, couldn't mark it, gets around one. Oh, he went to get the handball out, but he just couldn't get a hand on it.
That play down here in front of us where Junkyard Jake took hold of the ball, he wasn't going to get rid of it until he's tackled by at least 2 of them, because he doesn't feel like he's had the ball until someone grabs him.
This is 5-room football for the Riverland Motor Group. Ranger and Everest in stock for immediate delivery. He's Terrace Loxton.
Ball going forward, this time to Tim Wolford, picking up lots of possessions this quarter for Renmark. Couldn't find Beavis in the middle and cut out by Sampson, who tried to shepherd Harry and got a little bit of a tickle under the ear there, I think.
Beach went to play on, but then opted against it. Now into the attacking 50. Spilios has got a couple of metres spare, and they would take a great mark.
His last 5 minutes have been quite damaging for Barmera.
Wheels around, kicks it to the square. An intercept from the Renmark Rovers.
That was Rover, I reckon, Brodie Rover.
He went to get the kick away. It's out of bounds.
Boundary up in a beautiful spot there, and says to Jared Rowe, no, you took the mark, but it was outside the boundary line. So coming back, free kick to Fraser Douglas from Barmera Monash, centres the ball.
Spills forward, and on comes Jack Austin. Wheels around, kicks a goal and intercept. Didn't go through throw behind, and there it is.
Yeah. Chopping that one out.
So there is the score. It is the Renmark Rovers 3-2-20 leading Barmera Monash 2-3-15 here at 5 Room Football at the Lakeside in Barmera. We do it all thanks to McDonald's Renmark, of course supporting local sport, and spicy shaker fries and spicy chicken nuggets are back at Macca's. Things just got feisty. We'll cross back to the Sideline View studio with Rob Laurie today, looking after things for Trevor Scott, and find out what's happening around the Riverland this afternoon. Rob.
to it. Round 11 across the Riverland today. Over to Lockie Winnell and Trevor Nobby Norton, who are at Lakeside. How is the conditions there, boys?
Yeah, Bob, great to be back at the Lakeside. We love it here at 5RM Footy. It's the visiting Renmark Rovers with the lead on the field now, about to take their spots for the second half. Just 5 points the margin, and Nobby Norton, we've been treated to a great contest so far.
We certainly have, and at the start of the game, Lockie, and I'm going to take it now, I predicted it was a 3-goal breeze, and it was. Renmark kicked 3 goals that quarter with the breeze to take a very narrow 1-goal lead into half-time. 3-3-21 leading the hosts 2-3-15.
Just 20 there. Is
that right?
We've audited the scoreboard. They've added an extra point.
Okay. Well,
it's less than a goal.
Well, they're in front.
Yeah,
and they kicked 3 goals.
Yeah.
And the goal kickers for Renmark are Nick Gillard with 2 in that quarter and Dan Wolford with the opening goal of that quarter. For Barmera and Monash, both their goal kickers, Dane Austin and Jonathan Beach in the first quarter. So no one's managed to, and a goal in that quarter, Jonathan did. It was 1 goal at quarter time. So the key to this game, and I'll run through some good players too, Lockie, while I've got a little bit of time. For Renmark, Matthew Wolford's been pretty solid. Nick Gillard, a couple of goals. Jared Rowe's been in everything. Ricky Garrett, not a bad quarter. Tim Wolford, Dan Wolford, probably just ahead of two of his 2 brothers. He's the head Wolford this game so far. I thought Zach Gardry was pretty solid in the ruck. Declan Johnson did a lot of damage around half forward, and they had a few other friends. For Barmera and Monash, Douglas put together another good quarter after a solid first quarter. Jake Smith was good around the footy again. And we saw a pretty good effort by captain Sam Butterworth. Luke Thomas, a little bit of it. And Coach Fraser Sampson chipped in there and wearing some interesting headgear. He's copped another one on the noggin after one last week. For me, I'm thinking that this game comes down to, it's the premiership quarter, the third quarter, but in this case, it'll be, can Barmera get on the board with more than 1 goal? What do you think, Lockie, Dan?
Well, I think it's been a case of the wonderful Wolfords today. They have been everywhere, led by Dan. I think this is arguably his best performance of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well put. The wonderful Wolfords, eh?
Could be a book. Out for Christmas. There it is. Siren sounds. Third quarter underway here at the Lakeside. 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. Good tap from Gartree. The Rovers may able to get a couple of hands on it. Garrett, hard as nails, and we'll get a ball up.
I guess the other question, fellas, is will Renmark go into that possession mode they were in the first quarter, kicking against the breeze, where they tried to keep the ball away from the Barmera and Monash side?
I personally think they will. That's been the key to success for them, so why would you change it?
Ben Drugamore reading the ball off the hit out from Gardery, but unable to break clear from the pack in these first couple of ball ups. Let's see what he does again. No, this time Jared Rowe got first hands on it. Fraser Douglas in there. He's the big body in there. To Drugamore, who shot it out to Coach Fraser Sampson. He took it long down the middle.
Chris Bonney runs onto it.
Oh, here we go.
And
Is that a goal
roll
of the day?
through, it has.
Here we go. Another entrant in the goal of the day, Lockie.
Chris Bonney. Someone only asked me, is he still playing? And I said, he very much is.
Yeah, in between running marathons, I believe.
And he's back here at the Lakeside. And that is a quick goal. Just on the 1 minute mark of the third quarter.
Yeah, and the big fella reeling onto his non-preferred left foot and kicking it. But you notice the difference was Sampson took that ball straight down the middle with a long kick, and that's something that was missing in the first quarter when Barmera were going to the play space end, is it? Yeah,
Yacht Club, play space, Cobby end, Kingston. I think we could call it many ends.
Well, it's the Nobby Norton end, 'cause that's the way I go home.
Water Tower end. It's hard to get a landmark here sometimes.
Yeah.
Now with that goal, that means the Roos are up now by 1 point. Back in the middle it is. Both teams fighting for it. We'll get another ball up.
Gardery answering the challenge there and actually going into the ruck and bumping it 10 metres towards the goal. Will he do it again? Straight to Sampson. Sampson from Barmera drives that one long and high forward. Yeah, they've definitely changed their style. They could see what Renmark did to them in the first quarter, keeping it away, and that's not going to happen. Out to Matt Wolford, shoots the handball out for Renmark.
In the middle it is Whitbourne. He tried to pick it up, paddles it forward. Matt Wolford dived on it, and we'll get a ball up. Still in the centre square.
Plus, the other thing I've noticed here, guys, is that there doesn't seem to be the numbers at the fall of the ball. Barmera is spreading a little bit to give themselves some option to shoot the ball out. Sampson again with another kick forward for his team. Well, nice little bit of work there from Butterworth, but couldn't quite get it to his teammate.
Spilios, now Warnett.
Wrapped up in a tackle by Dan Wolford, and the umpire will come in to ball that one up.
Starting to get a few shadows on the Lakeside Oval, but it's still a nice day here at the Lakeside. Ball up it is. Warnett, Spilios, they link up. Inboard. Now kick into the 50. Oh, a big crash of bodies. Ball on the deck. Can they work this one out? Both teams arguing for it, and ball up it is.
Free kick.
Monash
taken without the ball this time, and it was Jono Beach taken without the footy.
Just looking here, I think Matt Wolford's in a little bit of discomfort on the deck. Oh, he's off the ground, righto.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jono Beach with the free kick. In range, Nobby Norton?
Yeah, he is. He's well and truly in range. Notice Trevor Thorpe, the veteran Rovers defender, coming from the ground with a bit of a limp.
Doesn't look good, does he?
No. On comes Jaden Mason in his place.
The trainer going to have a look at that one. So Jono Beach now for a shot on goal for the Barmera Monash Roos.
Distance, not the problem.
Ball's on the way.
Accuracy, not the problem.
And the Roos extend the lead.
Yeah, and as we were talking off air, guys, before we came back on, sort of suggested that if Barmera were going to prevail in this game, they needed to drive the ball long, direct, and that Jono Beach would have a role in their victory if they were going to win.
27 plays 20 on the Value Care scoreboard. The Roos are now back in front after half-time. I'm not sure what the half-time address was, but obviously fired up the boys.
I think it was kick the ball longer down the middle would have been the message, without a doubt. And they've come out and done that.
The coach did that from the get-go after half-time.
And the coach is leading the way because he's speared that ball forward 4 out of the 5 times it's gone forward this quarter. Nice head out from the big fella to Tim Wolford, who turns around and drives it forward.
Haynes the target, but there's 3 Roos to 1 Rover.
Got a bit of pace, the big fella. He beat everyone to the ball.
Jackson hungry for it, dives on it. Well done, locks it in. Just outside the Rovers attacking 50.
Alex Hayne up for the marking for the overhead contest, and first one to the loose ball after the contest.
Ball up just outside the attacking 50 for the Rovers. A couple of good handballs though for the Roos, and they clear it out, and that's just bounced inside, which was lucky because we'll get a ball in.
That was Fraser Douglas in under. It was tapped as the ball came out of the pack. It was came off Barmera players' hands. Renmark players' hands. Douglas in there doing the grunt work, and every time he gets the ball, watch this, fellas, he's looking for Luke Thomas, who'll just drift in off the back of the pack.
Ball in.
Oh,
it was Wolford, Tim, that got his hands on it.
Umpire didn't see that. He was tackled high, but to his credit, the ump was not inside. He couldn't see it. Wolford having trouble getting up. Did cop one high. I think the umpire's saying to him, look, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I couldn't see through the wall of players. Can only see what you can call. Only call what you can see. Oh, nice hit out. Comes straight down the gullet of Fraser Douglas, who shoots the ball forward for Barmera Monash.
Out to Matt Wolford now for the Rovers. Drives up to half forward. Ball hit the deck. No one wanted it. Handball out. Can the Rovers make something out of this? Rhett Perry tried to run over it. He ran over the top. Picked it up again, had a second crack. Umpire says, my footy. The Rovers have done it right there.
Yeah, and that was a good call. He played the ball both times, didn't have prior opportunity to get an easy disposal.
Tap from Gardery, didn't go too far. Locked in.
Game on here with only 7 points of difference in Barmera Monash's favour.
On the Value Care scoreboard. Oh, good tap from Gardery. Looks for Rowe and Garrett. Both hungry for it.
And they were the drivers of the hard ball gets in the first half for Renmark too. They'll need them to step up here again.
So ball up just outside the 50 for Renmark. Kicking to the bowling club end now. Into the breeze.
Can Liam Jackson weave a little bit of magic here? We haven't seen a lot of him this game, but he doesn't need many touches to have an influence.
Very efficient. Good tap. Doesn't go too far though.
Yeah, they've got some dangerous forwards. For them, they've all all the Renmark guys have come up to the forward 50, pretty much leaving Nick Gillard one-on-one.
Is that still a 3-goal breeze, Snobby?
Well, at this stage, I think it is, because they've kicked 2 with it.
So, Barmera Monash now, they got a couple of players in the middle, bit of space.
Nice kick from Spilios, finds Austin. Dane at half forward, he plays on.
And now the Rovers with the intercepts. Ricky Garrett's got a couple. turns. He goes. Doesn't waste any time.
Lovely
Looks for
kick.
Haynes. Oh, it's gone straight through. That's the Falcon.
Yeah, it was. Falconed him.
Back onto it. Your man, Jackson, trying to get a hand on it. He couldn't. Now Wolford's in there. He was tackled before he had a prior opportunity, and we'll have a ball up inside Renmark's attacking 50.
That was a wonderful kick into the forward lines there, and it was a bit unfortunate for Alex Haynes that he couldn't get a handle on it because it was a beautiful pass. Maybe he's looking into the sun.
Good tap. Now it's the Roos that try to clear this one out. Fraser Sampson, he had to wheel back in around, tackled from Rowe. Now the Rovers, Garrett again, drives into the attacking 50, out in front. They couldn't quite get there. That was Jenke. Picks it up off the deck. The Roos supporter starts holding the ball.
No, it was a wonderful take there by Jenke, but he didn't have an opportunity to get rid of it. He was quickly pounced upon as he grabbed it.
Another ball up, still in Renmark's attacking 50. Umpire has called a free kick here to Barmera Monash.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought he was blocking the Renmark player from getting to the ruck, but it was Bonnie in the back lines, who's kicked the first kicked goal this quarter already. Chris Bonnie kicked the first goal of the half.
He's winning the veterans goal of the day.
Yep.
Not quite the goal of the day for Barry Better.
Nice, courageous effort there. Hit first time by Renmark, but only as far as Butterworth, I reckon, on half back. Beach, is it? Yeah, playing right up the ground. Looking for a long lead from the forward lines, which is probably where he'd normally be. Looking for himself.
Just up the line. No one able to get their hands on it. Stephen Carlon was in there. And we'll go up another ball up on the Barwell Avenue wing.
What they have done is try to take control of the play, just slow it down and find someone rather than just kick it forward without method.
Gartery brings it inboard, but it's the Rovers, the Roos that have got a couple of hands on it.
Yeah.
A wobbly kick into the 50. Oh, Dan
Wilden drove that one forward, but only as far as Harry Beavis, who repels the ball for Renmark and looks for Rowe at half-back, but couldn't quite get his hand on it. That'll be a boundary throw-in on the lakeside pocket end of the Barmera Oval.
Just on 10 minutes gone, third quarter Riverland footy on 5RM for the Riverland Motor Group. The Kia Sorrento, refined, never tamed. Here, Riverland Kia, East Terrace, Loxton Beach now from the ball up. Oh, shot on goal. Has it got the journey? It has.
Journey, never a problem with Jonathan Beach, and he kicks his third goal, second this quarter, to give Barmera Monash a 13-point lead midway through the third quarter.
Renmark yet to score.
Yep. So there's
after
the three.
half-time.
There's the 3 goals for the quarter, the 3-goal breeze. But you could be right, Lockie. That flag's stretching out a little bit. Maybe it becomes a 5-goal breeze now.
Well, what would be the break even if you're Renmark? If you're one of the fill-in coaches for the Renmark Rovers today?
I think you've got to stay in touch. I don't think you can be more than 3 goals down at 3-quarter time and be a chance of winning the game.
I don't think that breeze is going anywhere.
No. Oh, you will have the breeze, but you'll also have to reel in the lead. It's a bit like cricket, runs on the board.
Back to the centre it is. Barmera Monash get their hands on it first, but intercept from the Rovers. It was Jenke, Wolford. He was wrapped up, and we'll get a ball up.
Renmark have had a couple of really good opportunities going forward to the bowling club end, but they haven't been able to get a shot at goal, a set shot at goal. And that's the difference. When we've seen Beach kick 2 great goals from a fair way out.
So, still a contested footy in the middle of the ground. Hasn't gone too far.
Yeah, Gartery getting his hand on the ball first time for the Rovers in the boundary, in the throw-ups, but unable to put it to an advantage.
Barmera Monash now got a wobbly old kick away up to half forward. There's Warnett into Wilden, went to the ground.
He's starting to find his feet, isn't he, Wilden? Starting to have some important possessions.
Carlon dived on it. Beach dragged it out of the pack. Still on the ground. Now Renmark. Oh, it's found Barmera Monash. They kick it to the middle of the 50. Can someone get underneath it? They can't. Harry Beavis, the experienced defender, knew where to be. And Renmark cleared that one out.
Is that Thorpe back on the ground there?
Oh, we'll have a look in a second. Dan Wolford now running down the lakeside wing. He had no one to go to. He had to handball back to Anspatch.
Yeah, Anspatch it is.
Up to Johnson. Now Dan Wolford. Wobbly kick to Garrett. Garrett back turns.
Was a good kick. It was a deliberate kick to Garrett.
But it's been all of that hard work's been undone. It's like no one wants the footy at the moment. Both teams just wondering whose it actually was for a second there.
Yeah, ball going out from the kick from Chris Bonney, and that free kick will be taken by Renmark by Jake Anspach at half back. And Barmera sort of amping up the pressure a little bit in the back play, and Renmark not getting the opportunity to maintain possession like they did in the first quarter where they chipped it around. They're just not getting that chance. Oh, nice mark there in the pack. That's Beach again, isn't it?
Certainly is.
He's had a big quarter, John O'Beach, this quarter. Not only kicking 2 goals, but taking some important possessions behind the football. Luke Thomas taking that. Anspach increasing over the mark and will give away a 25-metre penalty for going across the mark.
Yeah.
Which brings Thomas into range.
Within range for sure.
Not a noted goal kicker. Plays most of his footy across half back, but in range, if he's been doing a bit of practice, he could hit the scoreboard here.
He's going to be kicking into the...
No.
He misread that one. Didn't quite get the carry.
All the way back to the half-back flank, Luke. I don't think that's your spot up there.
Not a score at all. The margin remains 13 on the Value Care scoreboard. Fiver in football for McDonald's Renmark. Spicy shaker fries and spicy chicken nuggets are back. Things just got feisty.
A lot of rotations going on here in front of us. It's almost like a queue to get into a rock concert.
I was thinking the bus is about to rock up.
There you go.
after
That's
work.
even better. Kick from Fraser Sampson across to the middle, and that's young Wilden taking possession right on the 50-metre line, dead set in front. He's had an influence this quarter after a bit of time out of the game.
So Zach Gartrey coming off for a bit of a spell for the Rovers. Wilden has his kick. Has it got the journey? The wind's gone underneath it. Gun barrel straight. That's a goal.
Yeah, I don't know if it went through the middle, Lockie, but I'm not sure if it was gun barrel straight. It sort of did a bit in the air. There's a few tricks, but it did go through the middle.
Might have been gun barrel straight like the ones at the show that you can never get the ducks with.
Yeah, I reckon it was like a helicopter punt which found its way back on range. The GPS worked. No, good kick, and his quarter's been good. He's come out and he's given them some bite across half forward and now hit the scoreboard. And 19-point lead, 6-3, 39 to 3-2, 20. This is, if they happen to get a couple more in this quarter, I think they're probably going to win the game.
Well, 15 minutes gone. The Rovers are going to have to respond soon. Fiver in football for the Riverland Motor Group. Austin now back doing the ruck work for the Roos. Finds Douglas, who back turns.
Yeah, they got numbers at the ball, haven't they? And they're using it out to Butterworth, who looks up onto his left foot. Drives the ball forward.
It's gone through the pack. Now over the paint at 50. Tackle wrapped in and we'll get a ball up.
Gee whiz, Wilden's back. He's hungry. He's back in there looking for the football at every opportunity.
There's pressure on spots in the Roos.
Yep.
Strong B grade. A lot of reserves.
And Middleton out today too, so he comes back. He's a walk-up start.
To the ground it goes, and that breeze is picking up even more here at the lakeside.
A few others missing too, Lockie, that have had a few games that are at West Adelaide that could find their way back here.
Very true. Fletcher Dillon and Aidan Hodson, two that come to mind.
Yeah, and there's a bloke running around in the seconds I saw on the bench down there today called Jack Sullivan, who I reckon was their best player in last year's grand final.
There's certainly, some selection woes. The classic footy club line, great problem to have.
Until you got to tell someone they've missed out after playing most of the year. It's not a good... But, hey, it happens every team, every time. There's always someone unlucky. Oh, there it is, holding the ball right in front of umpire Grummett. And no option but to pay that free kick for a good tackle by Barmera Monash. That's Spilios, is it, over there?
Just have a look. No. He's Dane Austin that's going to take the kick here. Thomas Austin.
Thomas Austin. He's been around the mark. It's like every team. When you seem to be going well, a lot of people pop up and contribute.
Ball's on the way. Gives it a fair kick. It's not going to make the distance. No one able to mark it. Rushed over for a minor score.
Yeah, Renmark just holding on this quarter, and I think they'll be looking to try and just hang on so they can regroup at three-quarter time and have a rush at it.
20 points the margin on the Value Care scoreboard. Biggest it's been all day.
Yep. Lovely kick out of defence by Renmark. Finds Mitchell Jenke. He's done his bit, but couldn't find another player. Here we go. Out of the pack they come. A little bit of an underground punt, but a good kick to Wolford. Tim.
Still hasn't gone too far. Right in front of the gates at the Barmera Oval. The historic gates.
Tell you the interesting thing this quarter, we haven't seen a lot of it after a really good first half. Dan Wolford hadn't touched the ball much, and he's not being manned up either. I'm watching him. He's sitting here on his own, but he's sitting in the back play. So where's his man?
We'll have to watch at the next stoppage. Barmera Monash now. They can sense another goal.
Kalon brings the ball out of halfback, Steve Kalon, but could only find
Whitbourne.
Yeah, Whitbourne across halfback. You know, interesting to watch, when you watch Barmera a few times, he starts playing that role that Fraser Sampson used to play across halfback, where he kind of uses the ball and moves it forward, and it releases Sampson to sort of almost play wherever he wants to on the field.
Bonnie got told to play on. That was Justin. Now Thomas plays on for Barmera Monash. A wobbly old kick over the 50. Great defensive mark from the Rovers. Now nice. Through the middle.
Here he is, Liam
Jackson. The Rovers need something. They need a spark. He's got a couple. Gets a handball away just. The Rovers still with the footy. All to their former teammate and now Barmera Monash coach, Fraser Sampson. Yeah, now the Roos are away.
Renmark are striving to try and create something, whereas Barmera just straight out, player going past, one handball onto the boot, direct football.
Dane Austin there, who's Thorpe for the Rovers now, on half-back.
Yeah, the bus has just pulled up down here in front of us. Lockie, 4 on, 4 off.
Yeah, is it the 396 to Henley Beach or maybe the 404 to
Kingston on
Tea
Murray?
Tree Plaza?
Heading that way.
I can't remember the bus numbers, but anyway, there'll be something along those lines.
29D goes to Grange Road out of Curry Street, I know that much.
It might have in the 70s, Nobby.
That's what I had to catch home to my grandparents' place.
Oh, and that's gone out of bounds, so we'll get a free kick here to the Barmera Monash Roos.
If you get lost, young Trevor, round to Curry Street, 29D. Comes all the way to our place.
Please don't use this advice to navigate around the city if you're heading down. Could be heading down to the Crows maybe next weekend.
Nice mark taken at half forward. Wilden again, having an influence on this game in this third quarter.
Brings it back in board. No.
Chopped out by Rover there. Half back for Renmark. Looks up. Crosses the ball. Across to Dan Wolford, who looks again to go wide to a teammate running past.
Yeah, he's got Anspatch there. He's calling for a target to lead up. There's Jackson.
He's on Bonnie. Bonnie's had the better of that contest all day, you'd think.
Still going another crack at it. They couldn't quite find the footy, and we'll have it on the ball up. Right at the bottom of Barnwell Avenue, Barmera.
Coach Sampson coming from the ground to have a rest on the bench, maybe get his headgear adjusted.
He might be looking for the next bus. It's a bit lost.
Too true. Ball coming into the half-forward line, and who should run onto it but Gillard. Takes a bounce, fair way out, but looks up at the goals. Normally a good kick. Needed some leg spin on that and didn't quite get it.
Hasn't quite. It just went over the line.
Yep. See how dangerous he is as a player. That little bit of speed, a little bit extra speed, and that ability to take it very cleanly and run forward with it.
Barmera bring it back in board. Declan Johnson got a hands on it though. Now Dan Wolford for the Rovers. Can they make something out of this? Finds Jackson.
Yep.
35 out directly in front.
We were waiting for him to weave a little bit of magic, and this could be it.
This could be. Is this the spark? They trail by 20. Oh, handball's off.
Helicopter punt through the... That was an interesting play. That was...
Tim Wolford.
Tim Wolford, but interestingly enough, that bounced on the goal line and went through, and there were two players further back that could have been in play that weren't.
Renmark bring the margin back down to 14.
Yep. Renmark, there was a Barmera Monash player there. The ball actually bounced in front of him, but he was out of the ground. Important goal to the Rovers. Lockie, one into the breeze.
22 minutes gone. Could that be the Value Care scoreboard big moment this afternoon?
Well, I think, if they win, it will be. I'm telling you, it's to give one back like that. Barmera haven't played out the quarter. You know, that's the difference. They've had the best of it, but haven't quite got there. We should get our man Lockie Dan down there to see what's going on in the Barmera bench.
Might have to three-quarter time. He's going to be amongst it. Find out what's going on. A ball up in the centre. Renmark just can't afford to leak a goal now.
Another big hit out from from Gardery. Rowe running onto it, but can't get clear with it.
Still in the centre it is.
Gee whiz, Lockie's a lot of spectators down in front of us that go the holding the ball almost at any time.
I think that could be the Cobdogler Premiership reunion
Yes.
Nobby.
Yeah, it might be.
Back in their day, it probably was.
Yeah, things have changed a bit since then, fellas. As have the bus route.
Probably thinking, well, there's 4 on the bench. They got too many players on the field. What's
Steve
going on?
Kalon getting some good possessions across half back and pretty calm with them too.
Oh, now the Rovers are on. Matt Wolford out in front. There's Timmy, lost the footy in the flight of the ball.
Well, through comes
Thomas from the Roos. Gets a kick away. Finds Warnett.
Yeah, but pretty clever kick that. Just made sure they kept possession of it.
Tell you what, he could be one for our young charger this afternoon.
Having a great game. In the middle, Bonnie having a good quarter. He had a solid first half, but this quarter he's got plenty of good touches. Maybe not winning the hit-outs. Gardery's on top there, but he's certainly doing more around the ground than Gardery. I can't remember Gardery taking a mark today, fellas.
Spills over the back. Gartree mops it up.
There he is, having a kick. But
Handballs to Anspatch. Small kick across the face of goals, but finds a teammate.
Renmark gone into that keep-off mode late in this quarter.
Umpire's seen something here.
30 seconds to go.
And we're just going to see what's going to go.
This won't hurt Renmark's cause because they just need to play this quarter out after sneaking that goal back. Short kick to Dan Wolford in the back pocket. He'll hold the ball, I think, until three-quarter time.
Bombs it long, gives it a pitching wedge.
Gardery over the top, punches it, goes all the way back to Wolford, gets another kick.
He does it again. Oh, and he kicked it out of bounds on the full.
He's taken the kick in because they've got little or no time. Can they make the distance from there?
One of the Austins,
There it is.
Dane, gives it a roost, but that's not going to make the distance. It fell about 30 metres short. We've got a game on here at the Lakeside.
We sure have.
It's the Roos with the lead, 6-4-40 to the Renmark Rovers, 4-2-26. The Rovers will be going home with the breeze. Rob in the Sideline View studio. We've got a game here at the Lakeside.
around the Riverland today, sport-wise, round 11 of the RFL at Loxton Oval. Loxton versus Berry. At the end of their first quarter, Berry was just a goal behind. Also, Waikerie versus Loxton North at Waikerie. But our game of the day is in Barmera at Memorial Oval. Over to Lockie and Nobby at the Barmera Monash versus Renmark game.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, look, three-quarter time. Now just finishing up. Our man on the ground, Lockie Dandy's been to the coaches' addresses. And Lockie, what have you seen down there?
Well, I actually saw more of a captain's address from Renmark. I think Matt Wolford led the way, but they were really in tight in there. I think it was just a case of just get the ball on the boot. They've got the breeze behind them in this last quarter, and they made the most of it throughout the second term, so they'll be looking for more of the same, I think.
Well, they trail by 14 at three-quarter time. That breeze down there, is it still favouring the western end?
It certainly is, and let me tell you, I think you've got it made up in the upstairs in the warmth of the commentary box, because the wind is definitely in gear today.
Well, there it is. Siren sounds. The fourth quarter underway here at the Lakeside. Back in the middle it goes. They both go up in the ruck. Jared Rowe read it well, and that was about as far as it went.
That's how you throw someone to the ground roughly. Throw them on top of yourself. Ben Drugamella pulling down Rowe in that contest. Up it goes again. Gartery first hands on it. This time Garrett comes out with it. Can't give it to anyone, so he's going to have to kick it himself. Looked for handball, but couldn't find one. So he shoots the ball in the air, and Wolford takes the mark. After that captain's address at three-quarter time, he gets straight on with it, shoots it down the middle. Ball out the back. Gillard in the dangerous spot. Gillard couldn't get a handle on it.
Paddled over. There's a few Renmark players are calling for deliberate.
Lockie Dan, you were spot on. Wolford took that mark and played straight on onto his left foot after his own captain's address. He was listening to himself. Got straight on with it.
So a ball in, now deep in Renmark's attacking 50. Gartery pushes it forward. A wobbly old kick away, didn't get too far. Now back in board to Garrett. One of the hardest guys on the field when it comes to running through packs. To the pocket.
Oh, mate.
Rovers are unable to mark it just. Great bit of work from Ricky Garrett.
Yeah, Haynes 2-on-1, but outnumbered, but nearly pulled it down.
And we'll just get the ball in here and find out what's going to go on. We're about to just see what's going on. Ball in, still round from Renmark's at goals, not far. Barmera Monash trying to lock this one in. They don't want to concede a goal this early in the quarter. They lead by 14, the Roos.
Next goal important for both sides.
Gartery tries to push it forward. Good clearance from Barmera Monash. They put it out in front. Just trying to see what's going on here. Bonnie couldn't quite have the speed to wrap it in. Now the Rovers drive it into their attacking 50 again. Oh, and a great mark defensively from John O'Beach. But
here we go.
Holding on. A free kick to the Rovers.
That's Alex Haynes. He'll take this shot for goal 30 minutes out. While he gets ready, Lockie, have we got any scores from anywhere else?
We will in a sec. We'll just watch this one here at the Waikerie Oval. The Magpies are up by quite a bit. We'll get some details there in a sec. Haynes has his shot. It looks half okay off the boot.
Here we go.
Probably not an A+, but what do they say? D's get degrees, Nobby. And that one went through the big sticks.
I like it, Lockie. I like that.
I heard that from a few of my friends that have
I can tell you firsthand, it even gets you through matriculation.
Alex Haynes with the goal. There it is. Brings the margin back down to 8 points here at the Lakeside.
One thing about that Alex Haynes goal, sometimes there's an old saying, it doesn't have to be your day, but it can be your moment, and that is his right there. He hasn't had a big day, but that's a huge moment.
Yeah, I can throw another one on top of that, Lockie Dan. The big blokes never get any smaller in the last quarter.
I love it. Ball back in the centre. We'll just get some score updates in a second from around the grounds. Doesn't go too far, but the Rovers run onto it, and there's Rowe. Racked it in and got wrapped up. Rob, in the Sideline View studio for Connectus, you got some scores for us?
Not at this stage, my friends.
Rightio. Okay, we'll get some score updates in a second. It's Garrett now driving it up over the painted 50 to Matt Wolford. Ducked his head, but got a kick away to the middle of the 50. It's wobbling towards the goals. Push forward from Barmera Monash. They're able to clear it out. A wild old kick away. Fraser Sampson, paddled it back in board just. And now it's been pushed over. Renmark are calling for deliberate here.
Umpire will have nothing of that. He says ball in. Here we go.
Got a game on here.
8 points the difference in Barmera's favour here at Lakeside Oval, just at the start of the last quarter.
Boundary umpire's going to have another crack at that one. The wind caught that. Very unfortunate.
It was almost like a line out in rugby union, wasn't it? You know, down the line and take possession at the back.
Pretty rough day to be a boundary umpire here at the Lakeside.
I think they've done a fantastic job, to be honest with you.
Here we go. Gives that one. That's a
beautiful
perfect ball in. Yep. And we'll get a ball up now.
Yep. A lot of players at that end of the ground.
It's 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group. And Douglas, he couldn't get out of there.
Yeah, well tackled by Rowe. Do another ball up. Third ball up. What normally happens?
Play on, or is it free kick?
This will be a free kick.
So a ball up. The shadows now starting to increase here at Barmera. The southern chill coming across Lake Bonnie.
No, another ball up. Interesting thing that players at that end of the ground, whether they're defenders or attackers, all looking into that sun over the lake.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's like a mirror.
Not when you're trying to catch a footy, I don't reckon. He's out to Dan Wolford, who shoots, looks up and looks for a player, but only, I reckon, Beach in the back play, is it? Set himself up across half-back.
It is.
30 metres out from goal.
Beach in defence, is that a sign that Barmera have parked the bus? A lot of bus chat today.
No, I think what it is they're not going to give Renmark easy goals.
Doesn't go too far out of that one, and we'll get a... Oh, here we go. There's a bit of a... Hang on a second.
Whoa.
There's a bit of action going on here.
Someone thrown into the turnbuckle, as they say in wrestling terms.
Umpire looking for... No cards getting called out.
Up it goes.
That was...
Gartery out. This time to Wolford, is it? No, to Liam Jackson. He started to play a little cameo here, and he gets the ball back. Can't get a handle on it.
Fraser Douglas for Barmera Monash going towards Renmark's goal, but manages to clear it out. A wild old kick in front.
Ooh,
Renmark should be able to make something out of this if they're creative, and they are.
Here's Gillard onto that left foot, shoots it back towards the goals. I tell you, that would have just put him the third goal on the podium, because he's got the first two. Him and Chris Bonney under serious consideration for goal of the day, and that would have just taken the cake.
I don't know if you need to worry about goal of the day for that one. I think that's just about goal of the year if you kick that.
Handy point though, just the same.
Thomas.
Yep. Barmera having a lot of trouble clearing defence here.
Still 7 points the margin on the Value Care scoreboard.
Beach again at half-back, looks up, shoots the ball across to Justin Bonney. Out with the handball. Oh, hang on, that was... sorry, it wasn't Justin Bonney, but he took the handball.
Ball now on the far wing. They all wrap up and dive on it. Umpire says, my footy. Just looking at that little scuffle behind the play before, or sort of at that ball up, that was Jared Rowe and Saxton Mitchell. Now,
okay.
Yeah, that might be one to watch.
Yeah, Fraser Douglas coming off for a spell. He's been a four-quarter player for Barmera, and on goes Aidan Scordo. He's sucking in the breath, Fraser, so I'm wondering whether what's going on here is they're going to play Beach behind the ball for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the quarter. Oh, lovely mark by Gartery there in the back play. Shoots the handball across.
Yeah, it's Harry Beavis.
Yep.
Bang! Rocking the mullet again. Drives it up.
Almost a mark.
They all flew up. No one able to mark it. Still on the deck. They're trying to hurry this one out. Renmark sensed the goal.
So I think the play is Beach at half-back, block all the play. And let's face it, there's only two players ahead of centre, one from each team. They're going to hold this up as much as they can and then look to break, get a goal on the break. It's all about not letting Renmark get easy goals here and take the lead.
And we get another ball up, 45 out from Renmark's goal.
Yep. You keep thinking to yourself, the next goal from Renmark, and they're only a point down, and all of a sudden it's dire for Barmera. But at this stage, they're okay. Here we go.
Lucas Warnett gets a soccer away, looks for Austin, and the Renmark Rovers, again, Spilios couldn't quite pick that one up. Umpire's called. Player on the deck behind play. That's Trevor Thorpe.
Yep.
And they're going to get Renmark are going to get a free kick here.
Yeah, it was Dan Wolford being held onto without the football. Thorpe coming from the ground
off.
again.
Yeah, he's pretty hard at it, Trev.
Yeah. Premiership veteran for the Rovers. Here we go. Shoots the ball across the ground. Opens play up a bit. As far as... is it
It's Beavis.
Beavis
5.
again shoots it forward. Here we go. One-on-one contest. Oh, hit him right on the chest, but he couldn't see it. Scordo with the ball, but can't get a handle on it. Renmark shoot it out again. Everyone looking for a little bit of space in that Renmark forward line, which Barmera have flooded back into. Just looking for a little bit of space to get a couple of steps with the ball and steady and use it.
6-4-40. Barmera Monash lead the Rovers. 5-3-33 on the Value Care scoreboard.
Big hit out from Gartery, but straight to Jake Smith, who jams it on the boot. And Renmark and Barmera looking to push the ball forward at every opportunity, but a high tackle.
Dan Wolford taken high, and that has been paid all year.
Yep.
That was no arguing there.
No, across the Brodie Rover, has a player running outside, fakes the handball and looks straight back down the middle to Gartery, but he couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, Butterworth tried to run onto it, wraps it up and dives on it. Umpire says my footy inside the centre square.
Liam Jackson starting to get a few little touches in around the ball and keep the pressure on. Dangerous player, but up ground. Who have we got deep?
Just the one goal this quarter for the Rovers.
We got Beach playing loose in defence for Barmera Monash. Yeah. Ball comes out from the pack in Barmera's favour, but Beavis runs onto his left foot looking for someone.
Got Thomas in there as well for Barmera Monash.
Ball goes out to Jenke on his own at half forward, shoots the ball up. Beach second to the contest, spoils, and
Gillard.
The ball will go out of bounds. Yeah, he's kind of being the experienced footballers both those blokes are, Jonathan Beach and Nick Gillard. Beach is sort of sitting forward in the forward play, but keeping an eye on Gillard at every opportunity because he knows that's where Renmark are going to shoot the ball, so he can get there and be the second man to the contest, or the third man to the contest.
So ball in, paddles forward, Rovers. Johnson tries to dive on it. Rose in there as well. Out the back of the pack. Oh, Jackson got a kick away to the top of the square. Can someone mark it? They can't. Can this one be socked over? Beach for the Roos drives it over the boundary line. Anspatch is in there. Tackled over the line. We'll get a ball in.
It's almost like every time that ball comes loose, within 20 metres of the Renmark goal, that there's panic in the Barmera side.
So Saxton Mitchell's the direct opponent for Gillard. Ball in, doesn't go too far. Tackled, that was Whitbourne. Now Spilios to Sampson. They're getting a little bit of space, a few metres.
Rovers first to the footy.
Oh,
man
great
in front.
mark from Austin.
Yeah, it's play on. The ump's called play on. I thought
Dane Austin.
I thought Rover had actually had his hands on it and maybe pulled it in, but
Dane Austin bombed it long and it found Mornett.
Here we go.
Druggermuller over 50. Has a bounce. Kicks it into the man from Renmark. Oh, it was comical.
Which wasn't a bad play, really, because they got the ball back. This is exactly what I thought would happen. They'd lock it up and then try and get it on the surge.
He had no target at all. No one in the 50. Bonnie punches it to Spilios. Spilios looked for Druggermuller. Went over the top. Now to Austin. Austin from the pockets.
Whoa, not today.
Yep. That one's going to end up in Overland Corner. Maybe not quite Overland Corner, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
missed the goals.
Barmera covering ground, though. They've clogged the defence up for most of the quarter. And as time ticks away, 8.5 minutes of playing time left. Plenty of time for both sides. But you can't but think that Renmark need a goal soon to at least tie it up. And that one for Barmera could just ice it.
7 minutes, 7 points the margin.
Onto the boot, out to Dan Wolford, looks up, finds Anspatch in the middle, he cuts back onto the left foot, looking to, but cut out this time by Butterworth, playing in loose across half-back or across the centre. And they've organised themselves now. You can see Coach Sampson across half-back, you can see Butterworth. They're kind of setting up the obstacles and starting to use the ball.
Just holding it up for a minute. I think it's a bit early to be winding on the clock, Barmera Monash.
Yeah, I don't think so much it's winding up the clock. I think it's just keeping the football, so you're not turning it over and giving them opportunity.
Barmera Monash now go on the switch.
Butterworth across to
Freeman.
Freeman on this flank. Here he goes. Spilius running 100 miles an hour and providing a lead, but couldn't look at the footy. Here comes the second lead. Straight to Anspatch this time, puts his hands up.
Warnett got a hand in there. Now Johnson looks for Jenke in the middle.
Turns it over. Out comes
Whitbourne to Drugamulla inside the 50 with a great mark.
And look at Spilios go to give him an option in the pocket, but Ben Drugamulla, thinking correctly, needs to get the ball forward, but not anywhere near.
Oh, Wilden was the target, but it was intercepted by Rover.
Yep. I could see Gartery moving into the back play, and Drugamulla was trying to get it forward without giving it back to Gartery, but he gave it back to Rover.
It's going to go over the line, and John O'Beach just lets that one go over.
Yep, fitness will be an aspect here. The Junkyard Jake coming off. Is that him racked for the day, or will he have a few minutes left? With 6.5 minutes left in playing time, I'm thinking he's given his all. That might be all he had for him today.
Ball in, Gartree and Bonnie fighting it out. None of them got their hands on it. And we're going to get a free kick here to the Renmark Rovers.
It was head first into the ground, and up gets Blake Henderson to take a free kick at the wing. Driving Renmark forward, but into the defensive pocket, but making a good play. There's Tim Blight moved forward to give them something up forward. And a renowned forward drives it in long and high.
Oh, they all flew up for the mark, but Gillard got it.
Oh,
he wheels around.
He couldn't, could he?
Has a shot. Minor score. No, it is.
Touched out of bounds, boundary throw in. That's the best result they could have got other than the goal, I think.
So missed a lot, but it was touched. So a ball in.
I reckon that was Beach drifting across the front of that pack trying to take the mark of the day, Lockie.
Certainly could have been the mark of the day. So ball in. Ruckman went over the top. Gartree picked it up off the deck. He spilled to ground.
Yeah, every time you do that 7:20, you're in trouble.
So Barmera through Fraser Douglas. Drive it wide in their defence. And they're just going to slow it up here.
He's been one of their hardball get players along with Junkyard Jake. As a matter of fact, he came on to replace Jake Smith. Similar sort of players playing a similar role for Barmera Monash.
Joe Ricketts kicking it up the wing, and great bit of work from Lucas Warnett.
There's your young charger, Lockie, with there. You can lock
him in for the day.
That,
yeah, intercept on halfback from Anspatch. The Rovers have got a couple of plays left. They're going to have to be quick.
Gee, they don't mind taking it on, do they, in the middle? The risky play, but I
free
suppose
kick and a 25-metre penalty here.
I suppose when you're 7 points down with time running out, you've got to take the risks.
You do. You certainly do have to take the risk. It's all or nothing now for Renmark.
Tim Wolford drives the ball in, looking for Gillard, but he couldn't get his hand on it. Beach with it again, is it?
Yeah, it was Beach. Now finds Bonnie.
Yeah.
Still in the back pocket.
Yeah, the experienced heads of Barmera Monash have crept into defence to try and hold up and hang on to this game.
Oh, he's kicked it into the man on the mark. And that's Gillard. Gillard wheels around, wastes no time. Minor score.
Oh, very handy point. Takes the margin to one solitary goal in favour of Barmera Monash. Are we looking at a draw here?
Well, in the 4 seasons, Riverland footy's been back on 5RM, Nobby.
Yep.
We have never called a draw.
Don't say never, Lockie. There's nothing.
Is today the day? The supporters won't be happy for me either side, but it could be a party for us.
Yeah, well, they don't play extra time either, which surprises me. Butterworth takes a mark right in the middle of the goal of the defensive goal square. They're having trouble getting this ball outside the 10-metre square. 9-metre square nowadays, isn't it?
Yep, maybe 18 yards in your language, Nobby. Oh, great, mark.
Nice,
no, he spills over from Barmera Monash. Play on Sikol, and we'll get a ball up. 70 up from Renmark's goal.
With 3.5 minutes left on the clock.
5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group and the Kia Sorrento. Check it out at Riverland Kia, East Terrace, Loxton. Couple of loose arms in there, getting a couple of hands on it. And your man, Jake, about to come back on. He's had his breather.
Yeah, he has. He's thinking to himself, I can't be sitting out here in this cement box while there's action out there and they need me.
Who is he going to call on? Is he going to just call someone off?
Well, if he goes on without anyone coming off, they'll be in big trouble because they're all on the other side of the ground. Ball comes across.
Here's the Rovers.
Gillard in the van, couldn't pull it in.
Bit of friendly fire.
Handball shoots up in the air.
Here's Dan Wolford out to Thorpe. Thorpe goes through traffic.
Handballs to a man who had a pillion passenger. Had nowhere else to go, but opportunity like that, I think you just get it on the boot and get it towards the goals.
Yeah, Jaden Mason there was the teammate. So ball up, 70 out from Renmark's goal. Spilios for the Roos, clears it out and finds Butterworth.
Getting some important defensive touches here. Rover nearly pulls down a mark, shoots the handball over the top.
And now Gartree.
They just need to get it on their boot, don't they? They can't. Here
Here's
we go.
Garrett behind play.
Into the back play. They need to shoot this out to someone with a bit of opportunity to have a look.
Dan Walford. Oh, kicks it out in space, but the Rovers should still be able to get this one. There's Tim. Oh, he wheels around an opponent. Now drives into the attacking 50, looking for a teammate. Can the Rovers make something out of this? They dive to ground.
High tackle.
Free kick to the Roos.
Time ticking away here.
6 points the margin.
Only a minute and a half to go.
Roos with the lead.
If you're a Barmera Monash player here, you'd probably almost turn around and kick it through the point so you get another kick.
It's been a thriller at the Lakeside. Can the Rovers have one last roll of the dice here? Off the deck, Morgan Edwards. Handball out to Gartree. Gartree bombs it long. Wheels through, straight through the slips. Umpire says play on's the call. Still in Renmark's attacking 50. There's a couple of players on the deck behind play.
Minute 20 to go.
Are we going to see time on here or not?
Yeah, it's time on.
Just looking behind play here. There's a couple of, the drama here at the Lakeside. 5RM football for the Riverland Motor Group.
Clock stopped at 1:10.
Yeah, 1:10 left, and Jack Albrecht streaming back onto the ground.
Just got the medicos out there, just trying to see who that is on the bottom. That's Fraser Sampson that's on the bottom of the deck there. He's just stood up.
In this sort of situation, this phase, I cannot work out why there's still two Barmera Monash players up here at centre wing. Everyone should be down there if you're defending.
So Fraser Sampson's, he's going to have to come off. He's not looking the greatest. So the coach of the Barmera Monash Roos, medical staff just having a chat with him. I think he's going to go straight to the boundary.
See, if you're looking at the field of play here, if you're a Renmark player, see all that space right over on the far forward pocket there towards Barrel Avenue. You're just running it there.
Yeah, you've got to drag some players away from the contest. You can't all stand in the one spot because otherwise you'll go nowhere in this last minute 10.
But you just got to run away from the football to create something anyway.
So Alex Haynes also coming off as well with the assistance of the trainer.
These guys aren't going through the interchange bench, and neither should they have to worry about it because there's only a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock.
So Fraser Sampson coming off too. So I'm thinking that was a clash of heads in that after that ball up.
Do you know the interesting thing here? I'm hoping someone's counting all the players because they're going off and on at will.
Well, you've got to get your best four player. Well, you've got to get all your best players on the ground now. This is your perfect opportunity to have done so. Ball up inside 50.
See Rhett Perry running down the forward lines there. See where he's just sitting there off the pack. Go out another 20 years. See how he's starting to open it up a bit? Clever footy. He's out there. That's it. He's dragged someone halfway with him, which is what you want. Halfway's good.
A snap kick lands in your arms. You could be the hero.
Yeah, halfway's good.
All right, so a ball up, 35 out from Renmark's goal. They trail by 6 points.
And the only thing you want to do if you're Barmera Monash here is tackle around the waist and stay low.
Here it is, the last minute of the game. Round 11, Riverland footy on 5RM. The ball's been up. It goes over the line. We're going to get a free kick here to the Renmark Rovers. That's out on the full. It was just a soccer off the ground, but it was just a little bit of a wayward kick.
Jared Rowe with the ball, I think, here in the forward pocket, but I reckon he's too far out to score. And they need a goal.
Deep conversation between the field and boundary umpire there.
It's 6-4, 40 playing 5-4, 34. Barmera Monash home team in front with 35 seconds left on the clock.
Rowe puts it to the square. Barmera Monash try and clear it out. It's still a live ball.
That's it. It's a Barmera Monash win, fellas. They've cleared it out of the fence, outside the 50, running onto it, driving it up to the centre, Barmera Monash. But it doesn't matter. The score's on the board.
And Barmera Monash now just work this footy up towards their half forward. There's Drugamullah with the mark.
Yeah, go back and have a shot from 100 metres out because that's all you need to do. There it is, fellas. It's all over. It's been a great game of footy.
What a contest we've had. Riverland footy on 5RM. And there it is, the final siren. Barmera Monash 6-4-40, defeating the Renmark Rovers 5-4-34. I tell you what, if that's a taste of what's to come later this year, I'm excited.
That's round 2 to Barmera. The first 2 rounds, 3 to go this year, and the last one's going to be the important one.
Cannot wait. We will cross back to the Sideline View studio for Connect Us with Rob Laurie today and go around the grounds. And when we come back, we'll do our wrap-up and all of our awards here at 5RM Football. Rob, it's been quite the afternoon. I might need to have a lay down pretty soon.